Stop for a moment. This is not gentle, this is not subtle, and this is not something you can afford to scroll past. Archangel Michael is not whispering to you right now. He is calling out with urgency, with intensity, because something has been trying to get your attention over and over again, and you have been brushing it aside like it was nothing. My beloved child, this is the interruption you didn't plan for, but desperately need. You felt it, didn't you? That sudden pause in your spirit, that tightness in your chest, that moment where everything went still for no clear reason. That wasn't random. That wasn't your imagination. That was a signal. And yet, each time it came, you told yourself, later, or, it's probably nothing, and you kept moving as if the silence didn't mean anything. But listen carefully, what you called coincidence was actually communication. What you dismissed as distraction was divine direction. And what you ignored, almost led you somewhere you were never meant to go. This is where the shift begins. Ignorance is comfortable, but awakening is necessary. You were not being left alone, you were being guided, redirected, even protected in ways you did not recognize. The frustration you feel now, the confusion, the sense that something is off, it didn't appear overnight. It has been building, moment by moment, each time you turned away from what was trying to reach you. Stay with me, because this is important. You are not being called out to be condemned, you are being awakened so you can finally see. Because if you begin to recognize the pattern, you will also begin to understand something deeper. What exactly have you been missing that could have changed everything? And before you try to explain this away, before your mind rushes in to label this as just another video, pause and feel what is happening inside you right now. My beloved child, this did not reach you by accident. You did not land here randomly. There is a reason your attention was pulled here at this exact moment, in this exact state. Because let's be honest about what you've been carrying. The fatigue that doesn't go away even after rest. The quiet anxiety that sits in your chest, not loud enough to panic, but heavy enough to drain you. That strange weight you feel in your body, like something is pressing down on you even when everything around you looks fine. You've been trying to push through it, to normalize it, to tell yourself it's just stress or overthinking. But what if it isn't just that? What if those sensations are not signs that something is wrong with you, but signals that something is trying to reach you? That tightness in your chest when you were about to make a certain decision. That sudden stillness that made you hesitate for no clear reason. That warmth, that pull, that inner nudge you couldn't explain but chose to ignore. Those were not random feelings. Those were moments of alignment trying to break through your confusion. You were never just tired. You were being slowed down. You were never just anxious. You were being alerted. You were never just overwhelmed. You were standing at the edge of something your spirit recognized before your mind could understand. This is the shift you need to see. Confusion was never your final state, it was the surface layer of something intentional. Something precise. Something guided. And this message finding you now, in this exact moment, is part of that same pattern. Not coincidence, but timing. Not randomness, but alignment. You are not late. You are not lost. You are being brought into awareness exactly when you are ready to see it. Stay with me, because if these feelings were signals, then the question becomes deeper. What were they trying to warn you about that you couldn't yet see? Now that you're beginning to recognize the signals, you can start to see the pattern that has been repeating itself in your life. This isn't just one moment, one delay, or one difficult season. It has felt like a cycle, doors almost opening, then closing. Opportunities coming close, then slipping away. Energy rising, only to be followed by exhaustion that pulls you back again. My beloved child, that pattern has made you question yourself. It has made you wonder if you are the problem. If you are too late, too distracted, too inconsistent. And slowly, without even realizing it, you began to accept stagnation as your reality. You started calling it just the way things are. But listen carefully, what looks like stagnation is not always stillness. Sometimes, it is movement you cannot yet see. Because what you have been experiencing is not random chaos. There has been pressure, resistance, and emotional weight that feels heavier than what your situation alone should carry. That unexplained burnout, that sudden loss of motivation after progress, that feeling of being pulled back right when you were about to move forward, those are not ordinary patterns. They are signs of a deeper tension. You've been in a storm, but not the kind that is obvious. This has been a quiet storm. A storm that works through delay instead of destruction. A storm that distracts instead of directly attacks. It doesn't break you instantly, it wears you down slowly, until you begin to doubt your own direction. And that's where the shift happens. Because what you called failure was often protection. What you called delay was often redirection. And what you called emotional exhaustion was sometimes the result of carrying pressure that was never meant to stay on you in the first place. Think about it. How many times did something not work out, only for you to later realize it would have led you somewhere misaligned? How many times were you slowed down, only to avoid something you couldn't yet see? There has been hidden movement beneath every pause, even when it felt like nothing was happening. You were not being abandoned. You were being preserved. But here is the part most people miss. Not all resistance is the same. Some resistance is meant to strengthen you. But some resistance is meant to stop you. And if you don't discern the difference, you will keep pushing in the wrong direction, exhausting yourself, thinking you just need to try harder, when in reality, something unseen has been subtly working against your progress. Stay with me, because once you see this clearly, everything begins to make sense. The question is no longer why things felt delayed. The real question is, what has been quietly interfering with your path this entire time? And this is where it becomes more serious, my beloved child, because once you recognize the pattern, you also have to face the warning that was hidden inside it. This was not just about delays or emotional weight. There has been interference, subtle, persistent, and strategic, working to pull you slightly off course again and again. Not in ways that were obvious. Not in ways that would alarm you immediately. But in small shifts. A distraction here. A wrong connection there. A decision that felt harmless in the moment, yet slowly moved you further away from where you were meant to be. This is how it works. Danger rarely announces itself loudly. It often appears familiar, comfortable, even convincing. Think back for a moment. There were opportunities that looked right but didn't sit well deep inside you. There were conversations that drained you more than they should have. There were moments when you felt that quiet hesitation, that inner check telling you to pause, but you kept going anyway because everything on the surface seemed fine. That was not confusion. That was a warning. You were being nudged, redirected, even blocked, but because it didn't come with clear words or dramatic signs, it was easy to dismiss. And each time it was dismissed, the path ahead became just a little more unclear, a little more heavy, a little more distant from alignment. This is the contrast you must see now. What felt normal was not always safe, and what felt inconvenient was often protection. Because something almost happened. There was a moment, maybe you can't fully see it yet, maybe it passed too quickly, but there was a point where one more step in the wrong direction could have placed you in a situation far more difficult to recover from. A relationship that would have drained you deeper. A decision that would have delayed you longer. A path that would have entangled you in confusion instead of clarity. And you came closer to it than you realize. But here is the truth that shifts everything. You were not left alone in that moment. Even when you ignored the signals, even when you moved forward unsure, something intervened. Something slowed you down. Something disrupted the flow just enough to keep you from fully stepping into what was not meant for you. It may have looked like inconvenience. It may have felt like frustration. But it was interruption with purpose. You see, protection does not always feel peaceful in the moment. Sometimes it feels like delay, rejection, or confusion. But behind it, there is precision. There is awareness. There is a force refusing to let you fall into what cannot hold your future. So now you must look again at what you thought went wrong. Because what if it didn't go wrong at all? What if it was stopped? Stay with me, because in the next part, you're going to begin to see something you missed completely. The exact moment where protection stepped in and redirected everything without you even realizing it. Now look again, but this time with different eyes. What you thought was confusion, what you labeled as delay, what you almost resented, was not absence. It was protection in motion. My beloved child, you were never as exposed as you felt. You were covered, even when you didn't recognize it. Because protection is not always quiet comfort. Sometimes it is interruption. Sometimes it is the door that refuses to open no matter how hard you push. Sometimes it is the conversation that falls apart, the plan that collapses, the timing that never quite aligns. In those moments, it feels like something is working against you. But in truth, something was standing between you and what could have harmed you. This is the shift from vulnerability to covering. You thought you were navigating alone, trying to figure everything out with limited clarity. But there was a shield around you, unseen, but active. There was a presence intercepting what you could not detect, blocking what you could not yet discern. And more than a shield, there was a sword. Not a weapon of fear, but of precision. Cutting off paths that would have drained you. Severing connections that would have distracted you. Breaking alignments that looked right on the surface but carried the wrong weight underneath. Each time something fell apart unexpectedly, it wasn't chaos, it was correction. Think about the moments that didn't make sense at the time. The opportunity that disappeared without explanation. The person who suddenly pulled away. The plan that felt perfect but unraveled at the last second. You felt frustrated, maybe even rejected. But what if those moments were not losses? What if they were removals? Because unseen protection does not ask for your permission to work. It acts on what you cannot yet see. It intervenes before the damage becomes visible. It redirects before the consequence becomes real. And often, it does this quietly, without announcing itself, leaving you to interpret the moment based only on what you feel. But now you are being shown the deeper layer. You were not being denied, you were being defended. You were not being delayed, you were being positioned. You were not being overlooked, you were being preserved. Let that settle in you for a moment. Because if protection has been this intentional, this consistent, even when you were unaware, then your life has not been drifting as much as you thought. There has been order behind what felt like disorder. There has been care behind what felt like confusion. And this is where everything begins to shift again. Because if you were protected from what you couldn't see before, if paths were closed to keep you safe, if interruptions were actually interventions, then something greater must be unfolding ahead of you. Stay with me, because this is the question that changes everything. If you were protected then, what is being prepared for you now? And this is the moment where everything begins to turn, my beloved child. Not because something outside of you suddenly changed, but because something within you is finally becoming clear. You are no longer standing in the same level of awareness you were in before, and that shift alone begins to alter your timing. What once felt like endless delay is not meant to continue. What felt stuck is not meant to stay frozen. There is a movement beginning now, not chaotic, not rushed, but intentional, precise, and aligned. This is the contrast you must understand. Delay was never permanent, it was protective. And now that you are starting to see, starting to recognize, starting to discern, acceleration becomes possible. Because awareness activates movement. Before, you were moving without full clarity. You were stepping forward while second-guessing yourself, ignoring signals, unsure of what to trust. And in that state, progress had to slow down. Not to punish you, but to prevent you from moving too far in the wrong direction. But now, something is different. You are beginning to notice what you once ignored. You are beginning to feel what you once dismissed. You are beginning to pause where you once rushed. And in that shift, alignment starts to take form. This is where timing changes. Not all at once, not in a sudden overwhelming rush, but in a series of precise adjustments. Doors that once resisted you will begin to feel lighter. Decisions that once confused you will begin to feel clearer. The weight that sat on your chest will begin to lift, not because everything is perfect, but because you are no longer carrying what does not belong to you. You will notice it in subtle ways first. A sense of calm where there used to be tension. A quiet certainty where there used to be doubt. Moments where things begin to flow instead of forcing you to push. That is not coincidence. That is alignment. And as alignment increases, so does momentum. Because when you are no longer fighting against what is not meant for you, your energy is no longer drained in the same way. Your focus sharpens. Your direction stabilizes. And what once took so much effort begins to respond with less resistance. This is acceleration, not speed without control, but movement with clarity. But listen carefully, because this part matters. Acceleration does not mean everything will suddenly become easy. It means things will begin to make sense. It means you will recognize where to step and where to stop. It means you will no longer waste time chasing what was never aligned with you in the first place. And that alone changes everything. Because time is not just about how long something takes. It is about how aligned you are while moving through it. And now, you are stepping into a different kind of timing. One where clarity leads, where awareness guides, where protection continues, but with more visibility than before. You are not going back into the same cycles. You are not repeating the same patterns. The moment you are in right now is a turning point, whether you fully realize it yet or not. Stay with me, because what comes next is where it becomes even more real. If timing is shifting, if movement is beginning, if clarity is increasing, then what exactly is about to unfold in your life, starting right now? Now that you understand the shift, you are ready to see what has been forming beneath the surface this entire time. My beloved child, this is not a promise built on fantasy or instant change. This is a promise rooted in alignment, steady, real, and unfolding in ways you will be able to recognize. The breakthrough is not coming as one overwhelming moment. It is emerging in 3 dimensions, each one restoring what felt out of balance, each one replacing lack with alignment. The first is within you. Inner peace and clarity will begin to replace the noise that has been surrounding your thoughts. Where there was confusion, there will be understanding. Where there was tension, there will be a steady calm that does not depend on everything around you being perfect. You will notice that your reactions begin to change. Things that once overwhelmed you will no longer hold the same power. Decisions that once felt heavy will begin to feel lighter, not because they are easy, but because you are no longer disconnected from your inner guidance. This is how you will recognize it. Your mind will no longer feel like a battlefield. It will feel like a place where direction becomes clear. The second dimension is around you. Relationships and alignments will begin to shift. Not all at once, and not always comfortably, but with purpose. You will start to see who brings clarity into your life and who adds confusion. Conversations will reveal more than they used to. Patterns in people will become more visible. And without forcing anything, you will feel a natural pull toward what is right and a quiet release from what is not. This may feel like separation at first, but it is actually refinement. It is not about losing people. It is about aligning with those who can stand in the same clarity you are stepping into. The right connections will not drain you. They will strengthen you. The third dimension is ahead of you. Provision and opportunity will begin to take shape, but not in the way you may have expected before. This is not about sudden gain without direction. This is about doors that match who you are becoming, not who you used to be. Opportunities will feel different, less forced, more natural. You will not have to chase them with the same desperation. Instead, there will be a sense that you are meeting them at the right moment. This is where many misunderstand breakthrough. They look for something dramatic, something immediate, something undeniable. But real breakthrough often begins quietly. It begins with clarity, then alignment, then movement. And as these three dimensions begin to unfold together, something powerful happens. You stop operating from lack. You no longer feel the need to prove, to rush, to grasp at what is not certain. Instead, you begin to move with awareness. You begin to choose with intention. And that changes the quality of everything that enters your life. This is not about perfection. There will still be moments of uncertainty. There will still be decisions to make, paths to navigate. But the difference is, you will not be moving blindly anymore. You will recognize what is for you. And that recognition is the beginning of everything you have been waiting for. Stay with me, because this is where it becomes personal. As these shifts begin, as peace settles in, as relationships adjust, as opportunities appear, one of these dimensions will become clear to you first. The question is not if it will happen. The question is, which one will you recognize first, and will you understand what it means when it does? And as this clarity begins to rise within you, something else becomes unavoidable. You cannot step into alignment while holding onto what is out of alignment. My beloved child, this is where separation begins, not as punishment, but as preparation. This part can feel uncomfortable, because it challenges what you have grown used to. It asks you to look closely at the people, patterns, and environments around you and to be honest about how they affect your spirit. Not everything that has been familiar has been beneficial. Not everything that has been close has been aligned. This is the contrast you are stepping into. Attachment has kept you connected, but freedom requires discernment. You have held on for many reasons. Loyalty, history, fear of being alone, the hope that things might change if you just give it more time. And while those reasons may feel valid, they have also kept you tied to what has been quietly draining your energy and clouding your clarity. But now, something within you is shifting. You are beginning to notice what you once overlooked. The conversations that leave you feeling unsettled. The habits that pull you away from your focus. The environments that create noise instead of peace. These are not small things. They are signals. Discernment is not about judging others. It is about recognizing what aligns with your direction and what does not. And here is where you must be careful. Because when separation begins, fear often tries to speak louder than truth. It tells you that letting go means losing something essential. It tells you that setting boundaries will create distance you cannot recover from. It tells you that it is safer to stay where things are familiar, even if they are not right. But that is not truth. That is hesitation. You are not being asked to reject people or isolate yourself. You are being guided to create space where clarity can remain intact. You are being shown where your energy is being misplaced, where your attention is being divided, where your path is being subtly redirected by influences that do not carry the same alignment you are stepping into. Letting go does not always mean dramatic endings. Sometimes it means quiet distance. Sometimes it means choosing not to engage in the same way. Sometimes it means simply recognizing that not everything deserves your time, your focus, or your presence. And when you begin to do this, something powerful happens. You feel lighter. Not because everything is resolved, but because you are no longer carrying what was never meant to stay attached to you. Your thoughts become clearer. Your direction becomes steadier. Your energy begins to return to you instead of being scattered across what does not serve your growth. This is freedom, not isolation, but alignment. You are not losing what matters. You are making room for it. And as you continue to move forward, this process will become even more defined. You will not have to force these decisions. You will begin to feel them. You will begin to see them. Situations will reveal themselves more clearly. Patterns will become impossible to ignore. Stay with me, because this is where it becomes immediate. In the next few days, a moment will come, a decision, a realization, a shift in how something feels, and it will show you exactly what needs to be released. The question is, when that moment appears, will you recognize it for what it truly is? Now stay attentive, my beloved child, because what we've been building toward is not distant, it is immediate. The next 48 to 72 hours carry a sensitivity that you cannot afford to ignore. This is not about pressure, but about awareness. What once felt uncertain is about to shift into guidance, but only if you are willing to notice it. The signs will not arrive in dramatic displays. They will come in ways that feel simple, almost easy to overlook. A repeated thought that returns to you no matter how many times you try to dismiss it. A sudden clarity about something that used to confuse you. A conversation that reveals more than what is being said on the surface. These are not coincidences. These are directional signals. Pay attention to what repeats. If a thought, a name, a decision keeps coming back into your awareness, do not rush past it. Sit with it. There is meaning in its persistence. Guidance often speaks through repetition because it is patient, but it is also precise. What returns to you is asking to be acknowledged. Pay attention to what shifts. You may notice that something that once felt right suddenly feels heavy. Or something you avoided begins to feel calm and clear. These shifts are not random changes in mood. They are adjustments in alignment. Your awareness is sharpening, and as it does, your response to people, places, and decisions will begin to change. Pay attention to what is revealed through others. In the next few days, conversations will carry more weight than usual. People may say things that unintentionally show you their true intentions. Situations may unfold in ways that remove confusion you've been carrying. You are not being asked to confront everything, you are being asked to observe. This is where uncertainty transforms into guidance. You do not need to force answers. You do not need to chase clarity. It will come to you, but it will come quietly. And if you are distracted, if you rush, if you dismiss what feels small, you may miss what is actually significant. So slow down. Pause before reacting. Notice before deciding. Listen not only to words, but to what you feel beneath them. This is not about becoming overly cautious, it is about becoming aware. And as you move through these next hours, something very specific will happen. There will be a moment, a clear, undeniable moment, where everything you have been sensing will align into understanding. It may come through a single realization, a single interaction, or even a single sentence that reaches you at the right time. When it happens, you will feel it. Not as confusion, but as certainty. Stay with me, because that moment will confirm everything you have been sensing. The question is, when that sign appears, will you trust it enough to follow where it leads? Now do not move past this moment too quickly, my beloved child, because this is where everything shifts from understanding into alignment. Up until now, you have been listening, recognizing, becoming aware. But awareness without agreement keeps you in the same place. This is where passivity ends and activation begins. I want you to slow down, even if just for a few seconds. Breathe. Let your body settle. Notice where you feel tension, where you feel resistance, where your mind wants to wander. Bring your attention back here. This is not about performance. This is about presence. Because what you are about to do is simple, but powerful. You are going to agree with what has already been trying to guide you. Say this within yourself, or speak it quietly if you can. I am no longer ignoring what I feel. I am no longer dismissing what is trying to guide me. I choose clarity over confusion. I choose alignment over distraction. I choose peace over pressure. Let those words settle. Do not rush past them. Notice what shifts as you say them. Even if it feels small, even if it feels unfamiliar, stay with it. Now continue. I am protected, even when I do not see it. I am guided, even when I do not understand everything. What is not meant for me is being removed. What is meant for me is finding its way into my life at the right time. Feel the contrast in those words. You are not forcing outcomes. You are aligning with direction. Now bring your attention inward again. If your chest feels tight, if your thoughts feel scattered, if there is any hesitation, do not fight it. Just acknowledge it. And then say, I release what I have been holding that does not belong to me. I allow clarity to rise within me. I trust the guidance that is already present. Stay here for a moment. Because this is where the inner agreement forms, not just in words, but in awareness. You are not trying to control everything anymore. You are allowing yourself to be led with more clarity than before. Now, let us bring this into a simple prayer. Heavenly Father, I come into this moment with openness. I acknowledge that I have missed signs, ignored nudges, and moved without full understanding. But I am here now, willing to see, willing to listen, willing to align. Place your protection around me in ways I can recognize. Strengthen my awareness so I do not overlook what is important. Remove what is not meant for me, even if I do not immediately understand it. Guide my steps with clarity, not confusion, and help me move with peace instead of pressure. Let what is hidden be revealed at the right time. Let what is uncertain become clear. And let me remain steady in the direction you are showing me. Amen. Now sit with that for a moment. Do not rush away from it. Notice what feels different, even if it is subtle. Activation does not always feel dramatic. Sometimes it feels like a quiet shift, a slight release, a calm where there was tension, a sense that something has settled into place. This is how it begins. You have moved from simply hearing, to agreeing. From observing, to aligning. And that changes how you will respond to everything that follows. Because once you agree internally, your awareness sharpens externally. You begin to recognize faster. You begin to respond differently. You begin to move with intention instead of reaction. And here is what you need to understand. Something has already begun to shift because of this moment. It may not be visible yet. It may not be fully clear. But alignment creates movement, even when you cannot immediately see the results. Stay with me, because what comes next will show you how to remain connected to this clarity. And you may begin to notice a change sooner than you expect.